So now you can see the skin is sort of, it's harder to move because now I just have honey. I don't have any water. You can see it's, you don't do that with your client. So I keep working it. I don't want to work it so that I'm sort of dragging the skin, but it gets to the point where you can't do it anymore.
Like a serum.
Yes, but even thicker than that. It's just like glue.
Je hebt ook zo voelen hoor.
Tot wanneer masseer je door? Totdat het echt helemaal...
Totdat je niet meer kan. Totdat je een ruim ding gaat trekken. Ja, gezicht.
This might not be very convenient for the client, this feeling, when it's getting all sticky, maybe.
Ask the client. How does it feel?
Het is meer denk ik voor jezelf. Zij voelt die klapperigheid niet, jij voelt dat.
Ja, het is heel zacht, want je voelt echt in het begin, als je het opkijkt, dat er echt wat gebeurt.
Het zit allemaal in je gezicht.
Ja, dat
allemaal
vind ik
wel.
En het is heel vlak, het is een hele andere beleving eigenlijk. En het smaakt als je zo doet.
Ja, een beetje op de lippen.
Ja, normaal gesproken zit je die mond altijd
te vermijden.
Ja, omdat het anders heel vies smaakt.
Nee, maar het is heel lekker, het is gewoon niet.
Het is wel leuk en heel natuurlijk.
Ja.
Heel leuk. Maar waarom is dit een product waarom moeten we dit bij de tuinen kopen, niet via Jane?
Why do you not have honey, your own honey, and why you must buy it in an another?
Because I don't have beehives, I don't have the time to look after the bees in the summer. It's also it's hard to export. You have to have a license because it's a live product.
Oh, okay.
So if I made it, we couldn't. Manuka has a special license. Australians do Jarrah honey, which has a similar thing. But if you have any organic honey, is going to do any honey is antibacterial. But Manuka is extra strong.
And Manuka is...
But you do have to check it's real Manuka.
Yeah, it's a kind of honey.
Yeah,
So
it's made in New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
It comes from New Zealand, it comes from the Manuka plant.
So you can do it with...
Moeten wij even op een foto maken, anders
You
van
just have to make sure
het staat ook op de
it's
bovenkant.
not the cheap honey you buy in
Het
the
staat ook
supermarket.
Okay.
It's not sugar, it is actual proper honey. So then you have to rinse your own hands. And I do take the honey off with water because also, because it is so antibacterial, honey does not go off. It has to have a expiry date. Does it say something like, does that have an expiry date on there anywhere? But it will not grow germs.
No,
it is completely antibacterial, so it can last forever.
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
Cleans with the warm wax. Then you put over it the unconditioned. A little.
Skin drink.
Oh, okay. Oh, the skin. Is die skin elixir?
That's a toner, not skin and
Skin
skin drink.
Skin
It's a toner.
Ja, dat is net spuitding.
Ja.
Nee, maar ze bracht met die kwast eerst dat warme aan.
Ja.
Toen deed ze wat anders in dat
Ja, dat was die.
Oh, dat was die Wildcraft lavender bedoel je?
Ja, niet op de wasjes.
Nee, ze heeft dit klaargezet voor straks, om warm te worden.
Nee, ze heeft net eerst met de handen gereinigd, dat was meer. Toen deed ze met de kwast.
Ja, 2 keer
Toen deed
gereinigd.
ze die unconditioned iets daarin.
Nee,
I put the unconditioned in the oil, ready for the massage now, so it's warm for the massage.
Ja, ja.
Ja, dat doe je dan
dat heeft er niet over ingedaan.
Nee, wat je deed, dat was die Wildcraft lotion.
Ja.
Oké.
Geef niet.
And Jane, when I do a facial, I always remove hair, and you know the mustache.
Okay.
When would you do that?
I would do that definitely after the cleanse, and then maybe do the toning and then the exfoliation. Or you could do the cleanse, the tone, exfoliation, then your removal, your extraction, and then the massage.
Okay.
Yeah,
feels good.
Is het niet zeer gevoelig? En je wil exfoliation, doe eerst harsen, dan haalt een klein laagje af. En doe dan pas. Is de yoghurt, maakt het niet uit. Je had altijd met harspellen zo'n klein laagje dode herpsen.
Ja.
En als het eerst wat verwijderd, en je gaat ook nog harsen, geeft meer gevoeligheid. Dus
voor de tijd doen, hè? Ja.
Gevoelig ouderhuid wel.
En als het dan bijvoorbeeld heel rood reageert, kun je ervoor kiezen om dat toch te buiten te laten. Hè? En als het huid heel rustig is, kun je dan alsnog zeggen van ik neem het even iets mee.
That's okay. What is the time?
Zou ik hem voor de...
Over.
Okay. So,
Ja, man.
Sorry.
I am now going to paint the oil that I put into the oil after the cleanser so that it's nice and warm. I'll paint it on the face. If I was doing the front of the chest and the shoulders, I would also paint there. But just for timing, so that you've got more time to practice, I'm just going to do the facial techniques. So I warm my oil and I apply it. I don't apply a lot, and I'm glad to say that the phrase apparently does translate. I want grip, not slip.
Maar je hoeft
Te veel?
niet, ze wil niet,
Veel grip hebben, niet...
Ja, je
Ja.
moet niet wegglibberen.
ja, maar ze wil wel ook grip hebben, maar ook weer niet te veel. Maar dat zie
Ja,
je
moet je
zo.
een beetje aanvoelen.
Ja, maar dat zie je ook zo wat voor massage ze doet. Daarbij wil ze dus wel grip hebben, maar ze wil niet uitglijden.
Oké. Gaan we ook een volgorde van massage doen? Een speciale techniek? Gebruik je eigen massage?
Nee, ze laat één kant, want zij weet ze wel van één kant. En één kant laat ze zien, zeg maar, haar massage. En haar visie erachter vertelt ze dan. Maar het is niet dat het stap voor stap leert.
Oké. Mag ik het filmen?
Ja, het wordt wel gefilmd ook eventueel, maar je mag het ook nog zelf filmen.
Oh, dit filmpje krijgen wij ook.
Ja.
Oh, dat is goed.
So I spread the oil. And then I do massage that drains down to the lymph nodes. It isn't lymph drainage, but I take the face as a centre line, and I think you've got this diagram in the folder that Henry gave to you. So everything that is in the middle, and we have puffiness under the eyes, we have tiredness, I want it all to go down to the lymph nodes so that it can go out through the body. My massage is very slow, and I do the strokes once only. I start at the top. I try and keep my shoulders down so that it's up to you how high your table is and how tall you are. The first few strokes I will do with my hands together, and the motion I'm using is firm, and it is squeezing the flesh against the bone. The image I have in my head is if you were to put a sticker onto the wall and there's air bubbles in it, you go like that. Okay, so that's what in my head. I have the skin, I have the muscles underneath and the blood supply, and then I have the bone. So I am pressing down and squeezing out, okay? So I work slowly, because if I go too quickly, the bubble goes back again. I take it down into the hairline, because you can see with the pink dots where the lymph nodes are. And because I'm on this forehead, I can do both thumbs at the same time, slowly. And normally by the third stroke, you see your client go, even though it's firm and slow, it can still be relaxing. The third stroke on the forehead follows the top of the eyebrow and starts to go down through the temples.
You keep the pressure on by the temples.
Yeah. Then I can no longer do both sides at the same time, otherwise I'd be doing this sort of thing. And also it's much more specific, so I go to one hand. You can choose if it's these fingers, this finger, whichever feels comfortable for you. I follow and I go in on the brow bone. And if again, imagine that this is, you see the skeleton bone, we have the orbital socket. So if I had, if this was the bone going around, what my finger is doing, I'm going in and I'm going on the edge of the bone and I'm pulling the muscle, and again I'm pressing that muscle against the bone. So I'm not trying to get underneath because I would have that, and I'm not pressing down. I'm going over the edge and pulling towards me. And then when I go onto the bottom, I'm coming in and pushing down like that. Because if you see the picture of the eye, in fact, I've got... Yeah, great. So here we've got all these muscles around the eye, and we squint and we smile and we do everything, but they don't get massaged. If you massage them, they release, and it's really relaxing, so it helps to avoid the wrinkles around. But you have to work slowly. Otherwise you'll climb. And with somebody this young, it's really easy. But when you have a more experienced client, there's generally more skin. So you have to roll in and just feel, because you can't see.
You don't want to lift the skin up.
Not really, no. You're rolling over the edge. You don't want to be doing this.
Okay. Yeah.
And you don't want to be doing that. So you're just rolling and pulling.
Pressing against.
So you're squeezing the muscle, sort of temporarily hosting the blood flow, and then as you release, and then so the muscle gets to contract and relax. So it's like a mini workout for the eye muscles. When you come into the corner, I don't like to pull the corner, I sort of roll in and just hold on that bit there. And then when I want to come round underneath, I take my thumb, and I'm not pulling the skin, so I lift off a little, find the next place, lift off. I'm not lifting off, I'm just sort of gliding along the skin, pulling down. So you can see this eye lid shouldn't be being moved around and like that. It just should be really nice and gentle. So on the diagram you've got crosses to show that I'm pushing, pushing, pushing. It's not an arrow. With an arrow, then when we come down after we've done the muscles around the socket, then I'm aiming to go on top of the cheekbone, under the cheekbone, and then across. So when I'm coming on top, again, choose which feels comfortable, and you're draining down that sinus. And you should have enough oil. That means you glide over that bone comfortably. You're not pulling. And if that isn't comfortable, and take it right the way down to the ear.
Sorry, vroeg wat op mij?
Wat voelt fijner, met je vinger of met de duim?
Dat is voor jouzelf te beoordelen.
Ja, dat vind ik wel moeilijk te zeggen.
Met wat je voelt.
When I come to the cheekbone, I'm trying to just get slightly underneath it as well, because if the muscles are tight, if the jaw muscles are tight, we don't have nice defined cheekbones. So it's nice to just get in there and relax those muscles. But you can see from that diagram, the other one, when you come out to the edge, you've got this big set of masseter muscles that are coming across. So if I'm trying to go across, it might go ding, 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 ding. So as I hit a muscle that is tight, so there's a big muscle coming here, if I keep trying to go down, that's impossible. I can't go behind it, so I release, come onto it, and then squeeze through it. And if it feels tight, follow the muscle. And then
You don't
take
make
it behind
circles.
the ear.
You'll just glide.
No, I'm just gliding.
Okay.
And I'm draining. I'm following the muscle fibre if I can. So either I'm going across, so I'm sort of playing them like guitar string, like that, or I'm going down. If I do a circle, it's not really doing, not for this purpose. The circling is nice, and we did that with the honey, but what I'm trying to do is comb. Muscle fibres often, if somebody's got lumps and bumps, so this shoulder here, if I could see the muscle, I'm probably looking at that. And what I want to do is strengthen them and comb through so that I've got beautiful muscles. And I can do that by combing through them. If I just circle them, it's not going to be as effective. So then I can do the moustache. You haven't got a moustache, obviously. Check they haven't got false teeth, because you don't want them to swallow them. And again, you're going to come across these big muscles, so it's quite nice to use the whole of the thumb. Or it's quite nice to use the heel of the thumb. But you work slowly, you drain it down, and then I like to just chase it down the back of the neck. If I was also doing the back, I could then take that stretch right the way through the shoulder. There's another muscle here called rosaurus, and that's the one that gives us these nice lines here. You can stretch that, but the way to do it, and I won't do it because I'm about to put my fingers on the face, is you put the finger in the mouth and you pull it. But I'm not going to teach you that because you have to put finger cots on and you get in there and it's horrible. So you can go from the edge. You don't want to do that. So you go from the edge and try and just pull down on that muscle. And then you can come back out on top of it and squeeze in and drain it down. Bottom of the chin, you can do that on its own. Or what I like to do is hook my fingers underneath, because again, this gives nice definition, a nice jawline. It will often be really tight. It might be okay here, but a lot of clients, when you go in there, you can't. And that's because they've got that part, so all these muscles are keeping you out. So you want to try and hook underneath there and try and get your fingers right the way underneath. And if you can't, then I just work them and try and come right the way around that corner. If they've got a cold or swollen glands, it will be hard to get in there. And sometimes it's quite nice just to squeeze the bone. And that's really good for the jaw muscles and the neck muscles. But you have to do it slowly, otherwise it's quite painful. And the best way to learn this is to put some oil on your face and do it yourself and just think, okay, yeah, that's really sore, go in, work underneath the chin, do it around the eyes. And I say when you're driving in the car, when you come to the traffic lights, do the top, the next traffic lights, do the bottom. Make sure you do both sides, otherwise one will be much more. When you've done one side, then it's time to do the other. So I'm just going to quickly do the other. And I wouldn't ever do this quickly for my client, because actually, strangely, even though it's really deep and can be quite painful, it's actually very relaxing. And I work slowly when I'm working on facials, because if I'm busy, they're not going to be able to relax. If I work at the pace of a resting heartbeat, they will be able to relax, and I will be able to work deeply on the muscle. So this is about squeezing the muscle against the bone, getting a really good blood flow, relaxing the muscles, because the skin on the face is attached to the muscles. So the healthier the muscles, the better the blood flow to the skin, the more luminescence and radiance you're going to get. And this is about feeling what's happening underneath your fingers. It's not about, okay, what am I going shopping at the weekend? Okay, let's have that. Done. We've got to do it slowly and feel. If you want, if you get to know your anatomy again, you can start to literally work those muscles. You can try and pick them up and manipulate them. And muscles are very, very elastic. And you'll see this in your clients now, our muscles, we say that we have an expression, but if you keep that expression the whole time, then your muscles remember that. So you will have clients that walk in and the whole time they say, hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm really, really healthy. I'm really good. If you can actually relax those muscles, yeah, I'm feeling really great. So then their face opens up and then they will feel even better. And there are some people that spend the whole time, like this the whole time. Yeah. And then if you can relax them, it's just like, and then their posture's better because they're not doing this the whole time. Their head's in line. So it's all around here is really important, not only for skin health, but also for postural
client, when she comes in, she has a certain look, and when I did the facial massage, she had a totally different look. Echt amazing.
Yeah. But we never work out our facial muscles. We work out all the other muscles. Even if somebody that goes to the gym a lot, they don't work the facial muscles. And you can do it yourself. You can do all that stuff sitting in the mirror and going, A, I, O. And there are other techniques where you put your finger and you have to push your lips away. So you're strengthening them, but it's quite nice to have somebody else do it. It's my form of exercise. I get to pay somebody else to do it. So you also do the front of the chest. So I would drain down the shoulders so that the whole thing is completely drained down. I'm not going to remove the oil because you can see there's not much there because I've massaged it in, but I didn't put that much on in the first place. But it means that 10 minutes or 15 minutes, that oil has been sinking in and the warmth has helped that absorb and the skin to absorb. So the next thing I need to do is, there is a choice on the chart. You could put some serum around the eyes, but I'm going to leave that to the end. So now I am going to do the mask. What? Oops.
Think about it.
What's that? It's on its side. Sorry, that's because it's been on its side. So I'll do it. What's a good idea?
No, this side here, other side.
Yeah. Very nice. Otherwise you always run out and you add more. So you've put too much on this side.
Dacht ik zelf, in de zomertijd doe ik hem lekker kant-en-klaar met de frisser.
Because we've just done the massage, we've increased the blood flow, so the skin will feel quite warm. So this is very cooling going on to the warmth. So you're going to get vasoconstriction, which means the blood will go back and then flood even fresher blood.
You don't remove the oil before the mask.
Don't have to. Most of it will have gone in because it's been on there a long time. If you wanted to, absolutely. But at this stage of the treatment, I'm trying to put more product in. So if I take it off, so the oil has gone in. This has got oil in it as well. It's also got the clay, which is softening. It's got the aloe vera. So I'm just adding oil to oil. It's like I say, all my creams have got so much oil in, I think I'm going to start calling them croils. Now, when the mask is on, that's your choice. I usually ask my client when the mask is on, would you like a head massage or arm, or arm and hands or feet? Or it might be that you're the sort of therapist that says, I'm going to leave the room now and come back 10 minutes later. It's absolutely what you want to do. Or you can tidy up a little bit. So I could do a little bit. No, it's only 2 minutes. Oh, okay. If I'm doing a head massage, I don't want to hear hair, because then I'm having my hair washed. What I'm doing the same as I did on the face. I'm going in, I'm moving the skin over the bone. And then sometimes if I'm a little bit bored, I see if I can get my client to frown by pulling the skin over their forehead. But she has no wrinkles, so I can't. So you're moving the skin, because again, if you're tense, you grip your scalp to your head. It's like, I'm really tense. And then if you relax, it's like, let the blood flow. Blood's very healthy. It keeps us alive, but we spend our time stopping it from doing what it needs to do. If I was doing the head massage and I had remembered that I had some essential oil, I put 1 or 2 drops in in the palm of my hand. I don't ask, because usually when the mask is on they're quite relaxed. I just hold that and those molecules will go as they're breathing. I think that's different. And then I'll go in and do the massage, that their hair smells of essential oil afterwards.
Do the roots?
Frankincense.
But not for long, because they'll wash the hair afterwards.
Some people do, some people don't. Usually there's not a lot of product in the hair, so they might, if they're in a spa there might be, but a lot of my clients, they don't wash their hair till the next morning, that sort of thing.
Dus ook gewoon verkrijgbaar. Het is van Jane. Het zit bij
Hier ook al.
Ja.
Boomolie.
So then when it's time to remove the mask, you can either use hot mix or water.
Oh,
Je hebt altijd mensen erbij die het niet geven. Dus als je dat weet, dan doe je het gewoon niet. Ja, maar dat doet ze wel. Ja, dat denk ik ook. Het is nou, kijk wat vaak is gewoon ja, zeker. Maar dit is wel even, maar dan gaat het iets.
ja. En mensen zijn niet meer gewend natuurlijke geuren te ruiken. Alleen nep.
Ja. Ik vind het zo lekker ruiken altijd.
Ja, ik ook.
Zo.
Ja, dat.
wil hier omheen die parfum. Dus die gebruik je
I do feel a tingle and usually my skin doesn't respond to anything.
Je werd fijne dingen
Okay, I'll get some acid.
Die twee keer handig genomen. 90 graden was het. Ja. En ik had
Ik ben aan het omswitchen allemaal naar die.
Ja, lijkt me ook heerlijk. Was je die ook wel?
Everybody wants them.
Ja.
Maybe he can ask me to do stuff like that as well. Everybody's asking. But he can get them, can't he?
Ja, papa had het wel eens. Ja.
But not from BC.
Nee,
Kunst op haar bestaan.
They won't do it, it's too expensive.
Yes, too expensive
Ja.
to make.
Volgens mij wel, ja.
Wat? Die komen dus die komen uit Spanje.
Ja, ik kan me voorstellen dat je een bloedverlies mee komt.
Ja, maar je hebt toch, ze maken alle handdoeken, er vast ergens wel een stuk over.
Ja, jawel, maar toch. Ja, jawel, maar je hebt altijd verlies. Dus ik snap het wel waarom het te duur is.
Ja, voor
textiel,
hun.
sorry.
Ze hebben toch al goede onderzoek. Maar ja, dat is dus een firma die het wel doet. Maar in Spanje dus een sorry.
Ja.
When you come to the end of the treatment, I just like to use a little bit of the eye product. I always put a little bit of lip balm on. When I'm doing facial, I mix both the eye products together and I work this around the eye.
En je leave it on?
Again, if I have any left, I do not waste it. Always be used around the mouth. Any wrinkles. And then just massaged in around the eye. I sort the eyebrows out, I have those little brushes and just comb through. And then I just put a little bit
Brushes for the nice.
first thing your client will do, no matter how fantastic the facial was, just they look in the mirror and they go, oh, my hair, my eyebrows, my lips. So I just comb the eyebrows, mark down the lip balm, massage that in all around the edges so they've got a little bit of lip gloss. Nice and minty, and then I take a cotton bud and tidy up so it doesn't look as if they ate it. Then I tidy up. If the headband is still on, I will take this off now. If not, I'll just loosen the hair so it's not quite so flat and make sure that everything is tidy and they're warm. And then I will usually take the essential oil again, put some in my hands and ask them to just take a really nice, slow, deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you. And then I ask them to do 2 more before they get up. And then before I leave the room, if I wrap their legs, because they might feel as if they can't get out, I just gently undrape so that when they lift this towel, they're not all caught up in the towel. Okay, take a few more deep breaths and I'll be back when you're ready. Thank you. Okay. So that is the facial, it's the basics of the calming facial, but we did use the orb, and in a calming facial, if somebody has high colour or pigmentation, I wouldn't necessarily use the heat, but I would like you to use heat and room temperature cleanser. And then we did 2 exfoliations, the silk cocoons and the honey. It would be unusual to do both, but if you want to try the techniques, if you want to try one or the other, or want to try both, I think we have the time.
We gaan eerst lunchen doen, hè?
Yes.
Voor lunch.